Okay, guys, it's the second day of free agency. The Jazz have made some interesting additions today. Let's talk about it. Was it good? Was it bad? Are the Jazz better? Did they make a mistake? It's the Hoops Nerd Show. All right, guys, after a little bit of time to digest the news, we had Rudy Gay sign and Hassan Whiteside. I've had a chance to think about it, and I've got some thoughts on this. First off, if you had any questions about what the Jazz needed to add in this offseason, it was probably something like, can the Jazz add some length on the perimeter, someone who can defend, who can also hit shots, get buckets, even slide between the 4 and the 5 to play some small ball 5. The Jazz answered all those questions in their signing of Rudy Gay. Now, I don't know if this is solving all the Jazz issues. We saw them struggle against the LA Clippers with their length and athleticism, their ability to spread the floor, and also put smaller guys on Rudy Gobert on defense that Rudy Gobert couldn't really punish. Rudy Gobert did not deserve all the anger and frustration from Jazz fans that he did. Some of the things the Jazz could not do is find a way to have defenders on the perimeter that could both switch, defend, and then also hit shots on the other end. And if a player like Rudy Gay really answers a lot of those questions for Utah, Rudy Gay will fill in the spot that Georges Niang left open by signing with, I believe it's the Philadelphia 76ers, and that is a huge upgrade for Utah. Now, Rudy Gay is not going to start for the Jazz. He did not start for the San Antonio Spurs last year. He only started one game. But in his time on the floor, he did some really nice things. 11.4 points, 4.8 rebounds, 1.4 assists. He shot 42% from the field and 38% from three. It's just really solid numbers across the board. He played the 4 position. He played the 5. He played more center position than you actually think he probably did. And so he's going to be able to he's going to bring a lot of versatility to the Jazz. He gives them everything they needed. It kind of reminds me of the Joe Johnson signing, actually, from 4 or 5 years ago, where he's someone that can come in and get a bucket when you need it. He's a big body, and like we said, he can switch. The other thing that's interesting about Rudy Gay is that he brings impressive defensive additions to the Jazz. If you go look at the advanced metrics, Rudy Gay's defense has been one of the surprisingly better players in the league. And in just all these catch-all metrics, you'll see him show up in a big way. He's just a smart, strong, big defender who can switch. He really does everything that the Jazz wanted. And if you wanted someone to come into the Jazz and really fill a need, Rudy Gay does that. And like I said, Rudy Gay's coming off the bench, so this doesn't solve everything for the Jazz. I mean, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, they're still going to be starting at that wing position for Utah. But the nice thing about Rudy Gay is he can come in, he can fill either of those roles, whether it's the 3 or the 4, even play the 5. At this point in his career and at his age, he's probably more of a 4-5, so he's filling in that 4 spot. But he can come in and even play some small ball 5. If the Jazz need to come back against someone, they can put him in and just have some serious firepower. Having Rudy Gay on the floor with someone like Jordan Clarkson is exciting. You think about, the spacing that creates. It creates an open lane to the hoop for guys like Clarkson, Donovan Mitchell, and other guys that get to the rim on the Jazz. So I really like the move. I think Rudy Gay is just an absolute home run for Utah. They get him for 2 years at a pretty good price. 2 years for $12.1 million. That's $6 per year for someone who's going to play probably significant minutes, 15 to 20 at least per game. I don't know if he's going to play more than that. In the playoffs, you might see it go up depending on matchups and things like that. Just a really solid signing for the Utah Jazz. All right, guys, it's time to talk to the ballers out there. And when I say ballers, I'm not talking basketball. I'm talking about Manscaped. Attention listeners across the galaxy, all the way from Australia to Houston. Do we have a pube problem? Maybe. This is where it says to insert space music, but I don't have it and I don't have the time. If so, our friends at Manscaped have cleared you for takeoff with their 4th generation and brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Kick your pubes to the next planet with the Performance Package 4.0. Can you believe what they got me saying? The orbit in your pants will feel like you're in zero gravity when you use the best tools for the job from leaders in male grooming. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. I'm one of those men, and I trust my Manscaped with my equipment. And get your rocket ready for takeoff by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with code HoopsNerd20. Guys, it's great. You'll love it. Go get one. It's worth it. Saves you like 20, 30 bucks. I swear. Free shipping, 20% off. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor powered 360-degree rotary blade system. The nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code HoopsNerd20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code HoopsNerd20 at manscaped.com for a clean trinity and beyond. Your space balls will thank you. It's great, guys. Go do it. I would appreciate it. All right, now for the signing that was probably even more surprising. I had to do a double take when I saw the Woj tweet come across my notifications. Hassan Whiteside has signed with the Utah Jazz. Of all the things that you expected this offseason, I think this was the least, because Hassan Whiteside and Jazz fans have always had this kind of weird relationship, because if you remember 3, 4, 5 years ago when Hassan Whiteside was on Miami, Utah Jazz fans and Miami Heat fans were constantly going at it, saying who's better, Rudy Gobert, Hassan Whiteside. And now how things have changed. Rudy Gobert has a supermax contract, and Hassan Whiteside is now joining him as his backup for a minimum. It's kind of impressive how this league changes, from day to day. And I'm a little speechless with this one. I do not know what to expect from Hassan Whiteside. One thing you can expect is that he will block shots and he will put up numbers. The question with Hassan Whiteside has always been, with those numbers that he puts up, does he actually make you better? Does he actually defend well? Because sometimes blocking shots doesn't always mean defending well. One of the things that makes Rudy Gobert so impressive is not necessarily the block shots. It's the shots he deters, or the shots he keeps from happening at all. People don't go into the paint with Rudy Gobert. He's like a shutdown corner in a lot of ways. They just don't want to deal with it, and they know what's going to happen. There is obviously some sort of that effect with Hassan Whiteside, but Hassan Whiteside sometimes, I think, will go shot block hunting, and that's not always a good way to defend, because if you're shot block hunting, that opens things up in the paint for other easy buckets to happen. And that's one of the knocks on Hassan Whiteside. But you can't argue with the numbers he actually puts up. Last season, with kind of an up and down year with the Sacramento Kings, he ended up just having long stints where he wasn't playing. And, when you have a player that's not playing well for a team like the Kings, you don't always know what to expect, because the Kings aren't exactly run in a way that's impressive or logical or anything that a good team does. You can just go look at their draft pick and what they're doing this offseason. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. It hasn't made sense for years. So I don't think you can look at the missed play time for Hassan Whiteside from last year as anything other than a shrug. But he did, even in his time, in 36 games played, where he averaged 15.2 minutes, 8.3 points, 6 rebounds, shoots 56% from the field. We can talk, and that also includes 1.3 blocks in 15 minutes per game. That's what Hassan Whiteside does. He just blocks shot. It's his best thing, but he also puts up decent numbers. Putting up those points and those rebounds shows just good hands, And the thing is the thing that's always been kind of the knock on Whiteside is that he was overpaid. And it was true. He made insane amounts of money to just not really make his teams much better. But when you have Hassan Whiteside as a backup big making a minimum contract, these are really solid numbers. And for Utah, this is kind of a no-lose situation, because if Hassan Whiteside doesn't work out, if there's weird locker room things, if there's some sort of butting heads with Rudy Gobert or whatever, guess what? Behind him, you have Udoka Azubuike, who can come in and be your backup center. In a lot of ways, this is a security blanket. If Udoka isn't good enough, then you've got Whiteside. If Udoka shows that he's ready to go and that he's a solid backup option, great. And honestly, in the end, we're talking about 10 to 15 minutes of backup center. You're going to have Rudy Gay playing a lot of backup center as well. So this might be not that big of a deal. And it's nice to see the Jazz are not putting so much money towards that backup center. We saw the trade for Derek Favors, which was painful because you're giving up a first round pick just to get rid of a player, for cap reasons. So that sucks. So one thing the Jazz are doing right now is they are getting backup center minutes at minimum contracts. If you're paying over a minimum contract for backup center, what are you doing? Getting a star level center is worth the money. But a backup center who plays, between 5 and 15 minutes a game, and in the playoffs probably even less, you don't want to put too much money toward it. It's just not smart allocation of funds. So the Jazz did the right thing in bringing in Whiteside. It's going to be interesting. The guy has one of the more interesting personalities and social media presences ever. And if it works out, it's great. It's a no-lose situation for the Jazz. No risk, high reward, I guess you could say. Anyways, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I want to just give a shout out to all my all-stars. All right, let's give a huge shout out to Kelsey Hamer, the Hammer, Anton, and One Warren, Ezekiel Raisibe, my man from down under, JT Buckets Wardell, Austin R. Grant, editor extraordinaire, Eric C., the C stands for champion, Donald Schooley School and all of us, Super Mitt Robach, DWDCB, Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo, Lee Christensen driving the lane, Ryan Perry, the legend, Justin Ty H, Patrick Akubo, the connoisseur, Robert Hall of Fame, and DW Jazz going all the way. Guys, make sure, like I said, to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get the notifications when we go live. And if you'd like to join the channel and be part of the live streams, make sure you join the channel. It also supports the channel and helps me, keep growing and doing awesome stuff. We just got to keep going, right? Guys, that's all I got. We got to talk about something else. There's something else in the works with the Jazz. If you're here at this moment, make sure you make a comment in the comments what you think. But I'm pretty sure something is going on with the Jazz soon, and it's going to be big. I will talk to you next time.